Greetings nerds and virgins, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going through the dirtiest UFC fighters of all time, but before we start, can you like and subscribe? I'm getting views, but I want some subscribers as well since I'm building a community here. So please subscribe to hop on the shadow train. Choo choo, hop on the shadow train. But yeah, in the world of mixed martial arts, respect, honor and integrity are the gold standard ideals that many fighters uphold with fierce pride, but some, chasing fame, fortune and the spotlight, toss these values out the window like yesterday's trash because they simply don't give a damn. Here are the dirtiest UFC fighters of all time. We'll start things off with the former UFC welterweight champ Leon Edwards, who has been accused of using dirty tactics, particularly in his rematch against Kamaru Usman at UFC 286. During that fight, Edwards allegedly committed a number of fouls, including slipping his fingers inside Usman's gloves to prevent takedowns, repeated groin shots, and grabbing the fence to avoid takedowns. Not only that, he was also heavily criticized for reportedly poking Bilal Muhammad in the eye in their first fight in 2021, which was ruled a no contest because of the intentional or unintentional foul play. There are also those like Colby Covington who believe Edwards is the biggest cheater in MMA history. Next up on the list is Josh Barnett, who is considered a dirty fighter for his notorious history with performance enhancing drugs. While he was a mainstay in the heavyweight division, Barnett's career was overshadowed by a series of steroid scandals and that have left a lasting mark. Barnett's first major infraction came after he defeated Randy Couture to claim the UFC heavyweight title. His second major scandal came when he tested positive again while competing in Affliction, leading to the cancellation of the highly anticipated matchup against Fedor Emelianenko. The cancellation was such a massive hit for Affliction that the promotion folded, but Barnett couldn't care less. Rather than owning up to his mistakes, Barnett constantly deflected blame, targeting everyone from promotional figures to athletic commissions and even his opponents. But at least he didn't destroy somebody's family jewels like Keith Hackney. Groin shots are very painful and often accidental, but some fighters have turned targeting their opponent's most sensitive areas into a form of art. Hackney in particular mastered the knapsack kick. At UFC 4, Hackney faced Joe Son, who had him in a guillotine choke early. In defense, Hackney unleashed a brutal assault on Son's manhood, landing 6 deliberate and powerful punches. It was a masterclass in dirty fighting and showed that Hackney is truly a villain. Luckily, the move wasn't illegal at the time, so technically Hackney played by the rules, but his tactics were still a blatant foul in the game of sportsmanship. Like Hackney, Mike Carl was a dirty fighter. Calling him a dirty fighter is an understatement though. His record of misconduct reads like a rogues gallery of MMA violations. At UFC 47, Carl bit Wes Sims, showing utter disdain for sportsmanship. He then made headlines for eye-gouging Taiyoshi Kosaka at Pancrase Spiral 8 and Krzysztof Sozinski in Strikeforce, before landing an illegal soccer kick on Brian Olsen and kept punching him as the referee tried to stop the fight at WEC 20. Despite these infractions, Carl's career curiously continued across major promotions, including a baffling stint in Strikeforce. Now, Nate Marquette's entry into the mix may come in as a surprise, but it's still one we can't skip. The former UFC middleweight may be remembered as a top contender, but his legacy is also tainted by a series of unsporting behaviors, like his post-bout swipe at Ricardo Almeida. Nate also faced backlash for illegal knees on Taos Elites and the sucker punch knockout of Palhares, which won't sound as bad once you get to know how dirty Palhares himself is later in this video. Nevertheless, Marquette's troubles extended beyond the cage, with controversies surrounding his use of testosterone, leading into his sudden UFC exit in 2011. Chuck Congo is another veteran of the fight game who is known for being one of the dirtiest competitors. Over a 21-year career, Congo's name became synonymous with foul play, with his signature illegal maneuver being the good old groin strike, a tactic he employed against many fighters. But groin shots weren't Congo's only secret weapon of mass destruction. He also grabbed shorts in the cage, kneed down fighters in the head, delivered illegal 12-6 elbows, and struck the back of opponents' heads whenever he had the opportunity. At UFC 75, for instance, Congo repeatedly busted up Mirko Cro Cop's nuts, but neither was the Frenchman warned nor penalized. In fact, Congo's frustrations with Cro Cop's constant complaints led him to boast that the final knee was deliberate. Next on the list is Palheiras, a Brazilian black belt who is known for his deadly leg locks. For those who don't know, leg locks are extremely dangerous due to their potential for severe ligament damage, which is why they draw quick tap outs. Palheiras used to make his opponents tap out almost instantly with leg locks as well, but he had a terrible habit of refusing to let go of submissions even after his opponents quit. At UFC 111, for example, Palheiras drew ire by holding onto a heel hook well after Tomás Druel had tapped, and the referee had intervened. The Brazilian's dirty habit surfaced 3 years later again when he clung onto a heel hook against Mike Pierce, ignoring both Pierce's taps and the referee's commands. The UFC immediately fired him following the incident, but Palheiras wouldn't stop. After joining the World Series of Fighting, Palheiras continued his pattern of misconduct when he held onto a knee bar against John Fitch for too long after Fitch tapped. Then in a bout with Jake Shields, he not only gouged Shields' eyes, but also refused to release a Kimura despite the referee's orders. Palheiras' actions led to his dismissals from the WSOF as well. Next up is John Jones, the greatest mixed martial artist of all time, who is a brilliant fighter with a knack for getting in his own way. Outside the cage, Jones is no stranger to controversy, from failed PED tests to run-ins with the law, but even inside the octagon, his journey is marred by questionable decisions. Jones has a reputation for eye pokes, where he extends his arm out and spreads his fingers, often catching opponents in the eyes as they move in. He also likes to land the illegal 12-6 elbow, which led to his infamous disqualification against Matt Hill, the only loss on his record, even though Dominic Reyes should be a loss. Jones also has a habit of throwing an illegal knee every once in a while, and not to forget the dangerous oblique kicks, which aren't illegal, but they've still earned him a reputation as a dirty fighter in the eyes of many, including Quentin Rampage Jackson, who felt the sting of Jones's controversial tactics when they fought in 2011. Like Jones, Gilbert Yell's reputation in MMA is marked by a storm of misconduct and controversy. Known as the Hurricane, Yell's career has been plagued by outrageous behavior as early as his second year as a pro. He found himself disqualified for biting Karimula Barkalaev in 1998, a troubling sign of things to come. In 2001, Yell skyrocketed in the ranks of cheaters when he repeatedly eye-gouged MMA legend Don Fry, showing a blatant disregard for sportsmanship, and it wasn't even his worst moment. His most shocking moment occurred 3 years later at Fight Festival 12, after a tumble over the ropes during a clinch with At Backman. Yell response was nothing short of anarchy. He defied the referee's orders and attacked the official for being nosy. Yale's erratic behavior and his explosive temper led to numerous licensing issues, making his eventual UFC signing puzzling turn of events. Luckily, Yale had mended his ways by the time he signed with the world's top MMA promotion. The final dirty UFC fighter we got is Peter Yan, who obviously is an honorable mention because he ain't that dirty, but come on, he was pulling the hair of John Dodson, he was illegally kneeing Aljamain Sterling. He's dirty as well, but I'll just keep it as an honorable mention. But guys, thanks for watching the video. Remember to like and subscribe to hop on the shadow train. Choo choo, hop on the shadow train. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the top.
Hey, you tried to break me, but you couldn't tear me apart. I've got a fire inside, gonna ignite and restart. I'm rising up higher than before. With every step I take, I'm closing in on the score.